Welcome, welcome. My name is Celine Jellin and I'm recording this little True News update from Ghana country, Ghana nation, Adelaide, South Australia. And today is the 30th of October, 2021. Cannot believe it's almost November. It's all a bit surreal at the moment. Toby and I were attacked by the Star Force, by the SAPOL, back on Thursday, the 23rd of September. And really, like, we're doing our best to keep on keeping on, but we're both actually just traumatized and still shell-shocked and not okay. We're not okay. None of what's going on in our world at the moment is okay. It's absolute insanity. Everyone's getting their information from criminals that are in a death cult and listening to that information, following the orders of pedophiles and child traffickers, which is why everything's so insane. We're in an abusive relationship with an insane cult that poses as the authorities. They pose as the judges, the lawyers, the doctors, the politicians. It's the banking cartel. It's all of these executives that, sit on the boards of these for-profit prisons, the DCP, aged care, mental health, the hospitals, the schools. Like, it's out of control. It's really sick. And our world is, in a really sad state because we've been allowing this absolute evil to pass as business as usual for way too long. Like, it's gone on for way too long. Humanity has been enslaved, by this inhumane. It's not human. It's not human to be a predator and prey on other human beings. Like, that's not humanity. Our natural humanity is all about caring for each other, being we people, which is what the original elders, know. They know, it's written into them. We're meant to be we people, we the people together, being responsible for what we're co-creating. What are we co-creating? We're just getting our scripts from insane psychopathic abusers and child traffickers and following their scripts, because that's what COVID is. COVID is a fraud, and it has been since the beginning. And if humanity's not willing to talk truth and admit that, we've all been tricked and lied to, then the depopulation agenda is just, going to continue to escalate and become more and more insane. Like, there is collective insanity, just blindly following orders without question, without, Anyway, it is actually crazy, and everybody's free, in the real truth of who we are as human beings. We are divinely designed with free will. That's universal. That's gifted to us, and we're always free to choose. Yeah. I'm really sad about what's going on, and I think everyone just needs to admit that what's going on is not okay. So everyone should just start talking truth. Just start talking truth about what's really going on. Take your masks off. Like, all of what is being projected and pushed and presented as the law, these emergency powers acts, all of that is just pedophile policy, corporate pedophile policy that has no standing in truth. It's not law, it's lies. Lies are never law because it's fraud. You know, if it's fraud, it's a lie, and then it's not law. So no one can force you to wear a mask, and none of their threats are lawful either. You know, they're threatening with fines or penalties. None of that is lawful. None of that is law. Oh, far out. So what are we going to do about it? You know, what are we going to do about the state of, you know, our world and our community, where all of these systems and system workers, you know, are full of people just following orders, and being actually run by really bad people. You know, the people that are giving the orders are just not good humans. You know, we will know them by their fruits. So if they are lying and pushing the COVID fraud, like Stephen Marshall, the state premier here in South Australia, he's a liar and a criminal, straight up. He is completely aware that COVID is a fraud. He knows, he's been notified by multiple people and me individually, and given honest information, and, you know, practically pleaded and begged for him to please just tell the community the truth and stop this evil. And he hasn't done that. You know, this is the level of criminality of the people that the community is trusting with your lives, trusting with your health, trusting with your children. And they're not good people. He's not a good man. You know, he's not good. So we have to get honest about, well, who do you know and who do we trust, and stop giving our power away to, you know, these people in falsely assumed positions of authority. They're in falsely assumed positions of authority because they have no lawful sovereignty here in the sovereign First Nations. So the right to be able to be self-determining, you know, to govern ourselves via the will of we, the people, in truth and unity, you know, with full respect to the original people, the original elders, the original lawmen, the original lawwomen of this sacred land. That's where all of our power is, to just come together, we the people. We don't need any external permission from anybody else. Nobody's the boss of us. You know, we the people, it's our responsibility to come together and talk truth and work out what we're going to do about, you know, all of the challenges that we're facing, and help each other. And that's exciting. Like, I'm exhausted. But this is actually really good news. You know, the truth about our People's Peace Alliance and our People's Treaty, and being able to actually have lawful remedy to be able to change everything that's not working. So, you know, we the people need to take back all of these systems, you know, and especially anything claiming authority over our people, our family, our children in the DCP. They belong to us. We love them. You know, we love them. They belong to us. It's our job to have a look, go and see what's going on. Who's in charge over there? Cathy Taylor. Cathy Taylor is the chief executive of DCP, and they recently announced that they're going to force vaccinate all of the children aged 12 to 16 under the DCP's guardianship. Well, no, the people don't consent to that. You don't have permission for that, Cathy Taylor. So if you do that, if that happens on your watch, you will be personally responsible for that war crime. That's an act of genocide against children. So what would be the suitable punishment for that, do you think, that the honestly informed people will decide upon? So how about just don't do it? Just stop now. COVID is over. It's a fraud. Let's just tell the truth and stop hurting ourselves and each other, and stop allowing pedophiles and predators to hurt our children and our elderly and our disabled. There's so many people being held in completely unacceptable circumstances. So the children that are trapped inside this horrible system, it's not okay. You know, we need to go and have a full review and audit and find every single child, and where people need help, make sure they're getting help. No more people being hurt and traumatized and dragged through the completely criminal family court. It's criminal. It's child trafficking. It's what it is. Same with the prisons. The prisons are disgraceful. They're for-profit corporations, and the human rights abuses that are going on inside our prisons here are absolutely disgraceful. And, you know, the community needs to take responsibility. If you think you're a good person because you're paying your taxes and paying your death pledge and following the rules that are being issued to you by pedophiles while you turn a blind eye to the suffering of others, they're coming for you too. They're coming for you and for your children. So you need to take responsibility. Like, there's no one's flying under the radar. That's over. Everyone's being held to account. So the people that are thinking that what's happening to the people who are being tortured right now, in, you know, the children through the DCP, the prisons, the aged care for our oldies are being genocided, you know, deliberately knocked off. Everyone is, but, you know, mental health. Oh my goodness, they've given themselves magical powers that once they section you under mental health, they can just detain you indefinitely and torture you for as long as they like. Ooh. Good policy. Hey, what is that? It's fucking insane. The hospitals are death traps. Like, come on now. The schools are being set up as prisons, you know, fences being put around them to keep the kids safe. Actually, no, it's to make it so that the children can be contained, and they're already training the parents to hand your kids over, drop them off at the gates, and you can't come in, because that's the pedophiles using this system that they control to engineer this handover of authority, that parents just turn their children over to the state, and the state has control. The state claims authority over our children. That is not law. That is just not law. The law is that parents have the responsibility, that family is the highest authority over children, you know, and parents and family need to get together and be taking your schools back. You know, go in, have a look. If there's a, you know, parents council, who's on it? Do you know them? Are they trustworthy? Are they doing the right thing for your children? Do you agree? Because if not, like, step up, take some responsibility. Who's your principal? You know, who are the executives making the decisions and pushing the policy down? Are they good people? Are they trustworthy? Are they kind? Do they actually, like, care about the well-being of your children? Or are they just basically running little indoctrination camps? That's what's happening under this pedophile policy, is schools are becoming like little prisons to train your children to be good slaves. And it's getting like more and more draconian. It's not humane. It's not human. It's just gross. And we have to say enough. Like, we have to all admit that's not cool. We don't want that, you know. And in the most simple terms, all that has to happen is good people that can see that that's not right, start saying, oh, no, that's not right. That's not right. That's one of the women that I met, Kate Rayleigh, who's still being held by the Satanic State in isolation more than 100 days. She's been held, detained indefinitely. Not lawful. She's being unlawfully held and tortured. Complete human rights abuses. It's disgusting. But she's still in there telling them the truth. She's still telling them the truth and holding them to the account and saying, every time they do this evil shit to her over and over again, she's like, well, no, that's not right. That's not right. Still, like, she's got more courage and more conviction and more faith than just about any human I've ever met to still be, fighting for her life. And where's the fucking help, humanity? Where's the help? All the guards have heard her story. All the nurses have heard her story. All the social workers have heard her story. She's asked repeatedly, I need to speak to my lawyer. Like, she's asked everyone in there to help her, like, help me get out. And it all just falls on deaf ears. Not my job. I'm just following orders. It's not my job. It's nobody's job to help anyone. It's their job to dispense pharmaceutical pills. That's what nurses do. Or do the PCR tests or inject people with poison. That's the job of the nurses. The job of the guards is to keep people in cages and keep them alive, hopefully, because it's not a good look when people die unless no one knows you're in there, and then they can knock you off anytime they want, and they will, and they do. So prisons are not safe places. It's a really evil system of human torture and slavery. It's human trafficking. It's absolutely vile, and we've just been trained to think that's normal. Well, it's not normal. It's not normal. It's not healthy. It's just disgusting, and it needs to be abolished. If there's, we just got to find better ways to deal with, like criminality. And the vast majority of people that are in the prisons are not like dangerous criminals at all. They've just been targeted by the system for anything they make up. Like there was a older lady who was in there, and she'd been picked up for coming back across the border, breaking some fucking COVID rule. Who knows what COVID rules are, because they change every 5 minutes. Anyway, broke some magical COVID rule. And the police then, picked her up, arrested her, and shipped her off to prison, missing her daughter's wedding. And like she was just in an absolute state of terror. She was terrified in this cage, not knowing when she was going to get out, not being able to communicate with her family. They cut her off from communication, so she couldn't get a call to even tell her children where she was. So she was in absolute despair. Like, they don't know where I am. She didn't have her glasses, so she couldn't even read. Oh my God. Anyway, again, like they just put people in cages, and they don't care about the human being or what you're going through or the story or the truth. They don't care about the truth. They're not interested. Nobody's interested in the truth, apparently, or not enough people. And that's why we're in the state we're in. If everybody just starts being honest and decide that it's actually in all of our best interest, or in the vast majority of us, it's in our best interest to actually just tell each other the truth and help each other. And the sooner we do that, the sooner things can start moving in a really good direction for humanity. And the longer it takes, the worse it's going to get. The more suffering, the more people are going to be, getting sick and dying from their depopulation kill shot. Like, we could be admitting that we've made a terrible, terrible mistake, because that's what this is. We've been tricked. We've all been tricked. We've made a terrible, terrible mistake. And if we admit that, then we can say, okay, well, that's fucked. What are we going to do about it? You know, then we can all be working on the solution. We can be working on healing pathways. You know, there's so much good that we could be doing to help each other. But none of it can come through, you know, and become our new normal unless we stop going along with the fraud and the lies and the liars and admit that what's going on is not okay and that we want to change it. It's that simple. We want to change it, we the people, and it's our absolute right and our responsibility to do that, to be the change together, you know, which is exciting when everyone just goes, okay, yeah, let's just sort it out. Like, we have got so much resourcefulness. Everything that exists belongs to humanity. It belongs to the people. So all the corporations and the cult that run those corporations, they have no lawful sovereignty, no jurisdiction of law, they're frauds. So everything they've got is proceeds of crime and actually belongs to we the people of the land. You know, Mother Earth, she's our mother. She wants humanity to be free. Yeah, so, you know, we live in this most beautiful world, beautiful natural world that our creator created for humanity and created humanity for our Mother Earth, and we're meant to love and look after each other. That's our job. That's who we are divinely designed to be. And we got hijacked, you know, we've been lied to, we got trapped and tricked, you know, in this draconian pyramid scheme slave system that's not ours. It doesn't belong to us. That's not our system, and that's not our law. Not at all. You know, our law is earth law, the law of the land, and our creator's law, which is the golden rule. You know, we're all one human family. We're all brothers and sisters. We're meant to love and look after each other, help each other. It's very, very simple. It's not hard. And everyone can, like, remember and just come back to your heart and just talk truth and remember how to be a natural human and stop doing all these, I don't know, destructive, damaging, superficial, wasteful, crappy things for magical tokens, like this fixation and addiction and dependence on magical tokens. You know, everything is energy. Everything is energy. That's what, like, the whole banking system and their magical tokens is all just an accounting system for them being able to track and trace and harvest energy from us, you know, suck the life out of us. And they made up these magical tokens as, you know, a tool to train us into giving our power over, giving our energy over to the corporations, to these non-human entities, for profit, for the profit of them at the expense of us, at the expense of our life, our well-being, and of our Mother Earth. So, you know, we actually don't need it, you know, like we think we need it, because we've been trained to think that, you know, the magical tokens are life and death. But that's not actually true. You know, what we need is fresh air, clean water, food, everyone to have a safe home. Everyone should have a safe home. Housing amnesty. Let's just agree on that, humanity. We can do that. We are free to decide that everybody needs to have a safe home. We just make that a priority. I mean, look what happens when everyone agrees that there's a pandemic, even when there's not, and then there's just an endless budget for everything COVID related. Imagine if we decided that same thing for we're going to co-create heaven on earth now, endless budget, whatever you need. You can have as much as you need, whatever you want, infinite possibilities, because we all agree and we're the co-creators, so we can co-create as much as we want. The banking cartel make up their magical tokens out of thin air as much, as much as they want. And we're like, oh yeah, that's real. Well, is it really real, or have we just been tricked? Yeah, I don't know. We have to help each other. Like, this is the decision point for humanity. And if we do not wake up and talk truth and actively work together to turn things around, this is going to be a failed creation, and this will be the end. It will just be over. And it is right that it should be. If we can't get ourselves together and put caring for each other and our children and our vulnerable, if we can't make that our priority now, then we're finished, and we should be. And I'm okay with that, because I do not want to live in a world that is run by satanic pedophiles, like in a system of human slavery and suffering. That's not cool. And everybody else should want better for yourselves. Free freedom. Let's make being human free again. Like world peace. That's what the real sovereigns, the original sovereign people of this sacred First Nations land, that's what they want for us. They declared it. September 21st, the Declaration of the Returning Sovereigns was the Declaration of World Peace. So it's already been done, and all that has to happen is for we, the people, to go, yeah, that's right, we support that. We stand with the true world leaders. These are the real world leaders. Not that disgusting globalist UN banking cartel filth, mate. They're filth. They have no lawful jurisdiction. They've made up everything. Their whole United Nations, false contracts that they've basically put their own little puppets into puppet corporate governments to agree with other puppets over here that this is how we're going to manage the human herd. And the way that they justify all of this is to say that humanity is not capable of managing our own estate. Our estate being our earth, our creator's kingdom that was created for us and trusted to us. Like these controlling cult psychopaths that have made up this whole human slavery system say that they've done that because we can't organize ourselves. We can't be trusted. We're not capable. We're incapable. We're incompetent. So it's up to us to decide, like if they're right. Is that true? That we're incapable of taking responsibility for ourselves and our lives and our kids and our community? Can we put aside all the petty shit? And can we come together in the full light of truth to make everything great, make things good, turn it all around? That's the question. And it's up to us. So we'll see, won't we? Like, we're in the process of seeing. This is like humanity at the moment, just in this big mishmash of miscreation. You know, we've been creating based on bad information, just lies from liars, and so much chaos and confusion. And they want to manipulate and use that chaos to force the human herd into their digital beast system. You know, the depopulation, mass depopulation, and the full digital enslavement of those that remain. Gross. I would rather be dead. Like, much rather be dead than go along with that. That's a terrible version of reality. And we don't have to go along with it. We do not have to at all. When we are free with our free will in this moment and in every moment, to just go, do you know what? I've changed my mind. You know, I thought that was our system, and I thought that I was doing the right thing by participating in it. I thought I was doing the right thing by paying the death pledge to the banking cartel. I thought that I was doing the right thing by paying my taxes to the corporation posing as the government. I thought I was doing the right thing by paying these fees and fines and registrations and licenses. You know, I thought I was doing the right thing by trusting the school with my children and handing them over. I thought I was doing the right thing by wearing a mask. Yeah, there's a lot of good people who think you're doing the right thing, but actually you're giving your energy to this evil system that is destroying us all, destroying our humanity and destroying our earth. And we just have to agree that it's time to stop that now. Like, grace period. Well, we don't know how we're going to figure it all out. We can't possibly, because it's too big, you know, but we can agree that we're going to have a grace period where we're not going to be hounding each other for magical tokens. We're just going to help each other to get through the trauma and get the people that are suffering the most out of their suffering and into safety. They need us. There's so many people that need us. So many people that actually just really need us to get our shit together and help them. And are we going to do that? Because we can. So I think that that's what we need to do. And that's, you know, that's what we're working on while we're here and we're, you know, still doing it. We're going to keep trying to help people, and we're going to keep working to, you know, hold these system workers and executives to account and give them honest information and, you know, require them to do the right thing, you know. And the more people that get together and help with that process, the, you know, the more powerful and the quicker the turnaround can happen. But, you know, if people don't help, then they're just going to get rid of, you know, those of us that are talking about truth and peace and freedom and heaven on earth and what's possible. You know, if the people don't support us and don't protect us and don't put your support and energy into, you know, what it is we want to create, you don't put your energy into that, then it's not going to happen. So it's up to we the people. You know, the power has always belonged to we the people as individuals with free will, that we can decide where we put our energy and, you know, what we do and don't do, and if we're living and speaking in truth or not. All right, well, my prayer is for us to have our mass spontaneous remembering, where we just go, oh yeah, that's right, you know, we're free. We were always free. Nobody else is the boss of you. Nobody else is the boss of me. We're not meant to boss each other around or control each other. We're meant to love each other and support each other and work together and, you know, make cool things, have cool adventure. Life's meant to be an actual fun adventure, but not just like for a few people that are doing well while everybody else suffers in servitude and slavery and homelessness and poverty and hunger. Like, no, it's meant to be we the people, and, you know, we all work together for the good of all the people. So let's remember, let's wake up, let's remember, and let's do that together. Let's help each other. Let's turn it all around. I love you, humanity. And I know that we can do it. It's possible. So let's choose to make it all good now. Let's come together and help each other and just remember that love is our superpower. It's really good. And kindness, that's what Mama Mel says. Don't need a degree in kindness. So everyone has the ability in all your different roles and responsibilities, you know, the mums and the dads and the teachers and the doctors and the nurses, the DCP workers, the police, the military, everybody. Everybody's got the ability to stop going along with programs and scripts that say it's okay to hurt other people or to boss them around, and actually just say, my job is to be kind and to help people. Actually, that's my job, you know, and you can use your initiative to do your job. Like, as long as you're, you know, using your initiative, your free will to be of service and help other people, like, things are just going to get really good. So you don't have to be afraid of free will and freedom. You don't have to be afraid. You can trust yourself. Trust yourself. You know what you need to do. You got a conscience, you know, even if it's been like turned so far down in the background that you don't listen to it, like, you can turn it back up and be like, you know, what does my conscience tell me to do? And then do that. Follow those orders. Follow the instructions of your conscience. All right. Thanks for listening. I love you.